Hello. Hey. Um, so I'm just gonna start by saying hello to everyone that's here. And my channel is relatively small, so I'm not used to having this many people in the chat. So I'm just gonna give one big special hello to everybody and say thanks for being here, especially the people who have been here since 4 a.m. my time. I guess it depends on where you are in the world. Um, and I would also like to start off by saying thanks to Jen for that last hour. That was great. Um, and for the record, I think all of the cards would go with over for the toilet paper because that's the correct answer. So, um, let me see if I've started off with anything. Okay. So I think what I'm gonna do so that I don't get this is my first time, this is my first year participating in Terrathon, so I don't want to get off track too much. So for the most part, I'm not gonna look at the chat a ton. I mean, I will, but I'm gonna be looking at it like at particular points. So I guess if you have anything in particular that you want me to see, do at Moonbaby or just put the whole thing in caps, and I will do my very best to catch it. And if I don't, then I will leave the answer to it in the comments, I suppose. Where someone asked where I am, Christina. I'm in Louisiana, in the United States, in Baton Rouge, the capital. So, I think there's probably expectations for this chat because the title, to be fair, was a little clickbaity. It was a little. Um, so what I'm going to do is first, I've kind of broken down why having more decks is helpful, and in my opinion, necessary. I've broken it down into like 4 different categories, and so I'm going to just try to talk about those in 15-minute increments, and then hopefully that will put me right at the 1 hour mark. So to begin with, I wanted to talk about color theory because I think color plays a big part in why people pick certain decks and why people like certain decks. Some people prefer pastel kind of decks. Some people like really bright decks. And I think color is often a lot of the time why people don't like a certain deck. So I guess let me just break down the colors for you. I basically just wrote some associations that we subconsciously make to certain colors. So I've picked just like the basic Roy G. Biv rainbow. And so I'll give you those, and then I'll show you some examples of those colors in particular decks, because there are some decks that are clearly more popular than others. There are decks that always sell out. And I think that color subconsciously has a little bit to do with it. So red we associate with confidence, passion, urgency. Sometimes it can be an aggressive color. Lots of times you'll hear people suggest that you wear red to a job interview because it tells the person doing the interview that you're a confident person and you're competent and you're good. Orange is typically energizing. It's associated with warmth, and then desires. So if a particular card or something in a card is orange, it might, in your brain, it might be something that you associate with something you need or want. Yellow is a toss-up because for the most part it's happiness, abundance, but often bright yellows can symbolize caution in nature. A lot of things are poisonous, are deadly, like snakes, certain frogs, that kind of thing, have really bright yellow. And so subconsciously, that might be why you're not into a deck. Purple is usually like a regal color associated with royalty. It's usually associated with being wise and imaginative. So purple, there's not really a lot of negatives for purple. Obviously, there's positives and light and dark. Let's go light and dark instead of positive and negative. There's light and shadowy elements to every color, but for the most part, purple is a well-liked color. Blue is associated with trust, tranquility, peace. It's a very like zen, calm color. Green is, I'm always surprised that more people don't like the color green. Like that's not their favorite color. It's my favorite. And it is associated with calm, soothing. For the most part, most people think of it as growth because of obviously plants and that kind of thing. And then money is green. So people think of it as abundance too. So now that I've kind of given you a little information about the greens. Oh, Kelly Bear, you like green. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I guess forget what I said about not everybody loving green. Obviously, the whole chat likes green. So I have, based on that, there are a couple of decks that I think we can talk about in particular that are very popular, very widely liked, and I think that the colors have something to do with it. So, well, let's start off actually with the RWS. So typically the classic yellow box RWS, people don't like it. I'm not saying that this is the only reason that people don't love it, but the yellows in this particular version, the modern version of it, are really, really bright, kind of electric yellows. And subconsciously, we might associate that with danger or something we shouldn't like. So I think that's why the more vintage ones with the softer yellows, people tend to like that one more. Another example of a deck that is always, people are always looking for it, and she reprints it. It's the Jonasa House. Just humor me and pretend like I said it correctly. And that deck in particular is all greens, purples, yellows. There's a little bit of black, but for the most part, it's greens, purples, and yellows. So it's a lot of like happiness from the yellow and abundance from the green and like royalty and imagination from the purple. So right off the bat, she started off with just a really killer color palette. Obviously, the art is amazing. I'm not discounting the art, and I'm certainly not saying that the deck is popular just because of the colors, but I think that the color choice that she made really helped a lot. So there's that one. Another one that I kind of feel like is the same type of deal. I wish that there was a way, if I wasn't on my my computer, I would show you the like too many decks. So I pulled every deck I thought I could possibly need, and they're all just like neatly piled. But anyway, another deck that people are always looking for is the Dirty Pam, or that's what it's thanks Kelly Bear, I believe, is responsible for that nickname. But anyway, it is actually called the Pamela Coleman Smith RWS. It's by Los Scarabeo. It's just a regular RWS, but it's a very blue heavy deck. And it's a very like golden yellow. Not really, the colors are not electric. They're not really, they're like really moody and ethereal. And I think that that kind of plays, the coloration is what I hear people talking about that they like the most. And I think it's because blues are really calming and serene and easy to look at. And the yellows are really happy yellows and really like gold yellows, like abundant gold, like just like the mineral. So, you know, that's another example of how the color alone will make a deck more appealing. I guess I should have said in the beginning that my intention with this was not to discount that people can get by and be perfectly happy with just a single deck or just a couple of decks. I'm not in any way saying that you have to have like hundreds of decks to be happy or do readings or anything like that. I'm just saying here are some good examples of why it's nice and it's beneficial when you can. So back to the RWS. There is also like the Golden Rider. And I promise the whole video, this entire segment is not going to be out of print, hard to find decks, because that's not fair to do to everyone. But I figured that these are good examples of different, like the yellows in this deck are not like the crazy bright ones. There's lots of like really pretty oranges, really pretty reds that are like, you know, I mean, red is a confident color, and this deck has nice reds. Like that lion is so red. It's not like the regular orange color. This hermit is really nice. So I guess my point is that you don't have to, like, even with the RWS, you aren't limited to just, like, if you have one, that's okay, but you can have more than one for different things. Another deck that I like a lot is the DeLawrence version, which is like kind of a red-orange color. So it's really energizing and it's really like welcoming, but it's a confident color. And the entire deck is monochromatic. So, I mean, when I do a reading with this, it's kind of can be a hard hitter because the cards are confident, like they feel confident in what they're saying because they're all these oranges and reds. So now that we have talked about color and how color helps, let's talk about the different variants on the RWS. I'm just focusing on the RWS because I don't love, well, that's not fair. The Thoth is a beautiful deck. The art is beautiful. I don't read with it. So I don't feel comfortable talking about it that much because I don't read with it. So I don't think it's fair for me to give an opinion. So then there are modern interpretations. So the decks, depending on the deck that you pull, you might, even though they're the same images technically, like here is a Blushing Fool, which is like, oh, let me get a little closer so you can actually see it. And then there's the Dirty Pam. Like, if you pull them, you could get a whole different feeling based off of which one you pull. Like, If I pull this one, it might be like, I mean, it's not that it's a bad or negative, but it's just different. Like if you pull the Dirty Pam one, subconsciously you could be thinking abundance, like wealth, comfort, happiness, because the gold, it's more gold. It's not as like harsh of a yellow. So even if you pull the same cards out of a deck, they may not be, you may not get the same feeling. And then there are also modern versions of the RWS. Like you might pull the Fool out of the Modern Witch versus the standard RWS. It's a whole different feeling. I mean, for starters, it's nice that there's a woman, but on top of that, they've turned the like mountains or like the water, the sky, these mountains in the back have been turned into a cityscape. So, and there's now like a little weenie dog there instead of this little like, I mean, he's cute, but like, what even kind of dog is that? And the colors, again, like there's more reds, it's a more confident card. Um, and it might resonate with the person that you're reading for better. Like it sometimes it's not about the deck that you like, sometimes it's about the deck that, oh yeah, Shannon, I'm sorry, the Dirty Pam is out of print. I'm promise I'm trying to do that as little as possible. But I mean, the Modern Witch is great for maybe a younger crowd, it's a more diverse deck, obviously. So, you know, it's also kind of LGBT friendly. Not that the standard RWS isn't, but it's nice to be able to pull a card and then feel represented yourself in it. So far, these decks have all been decks that are, you could just pick them up, read with them, and they all pretty much have the same standard RWS. They don't really deviate much. They don't change a lot. You don't really need, I mean, like a guidebook is nice, but you wouldn't need a guidebook to read with them. You could just read by themselves. So then let's look at, now let's take a look at some modern versions that, I mean, this is another one that is like, it's popular. This is the Aquarius Tarot. This one you can still get. The artist name is Dawn Aquarius. She's on Instagram. This might be fun to read for someone who really likes vintage things, is really into like the 70s, or even someone that maybe grew up in the 70s, or, you know, this might resonate with certain people more than others. I don't know that really young people, I mean, young people would like it, but I don't think they would get it quite as much as the people who, like I said, were into the 70s or raised in the 70s. And this again is a very RWS. It's just a clone, really. I mean, not much. I don't think really anything has changed. Kind of the placement of it. But I mean, for the most part, it's the same. And then we can look at decks like the Ethereal Visions. So this one, still very RWS, but the perception of the card is different. I mean, well, I guess perception, but also just like the point of view. Like, it's still very standard RWS. It's just kind of a different angle. I don't think you really would need a guidebook to read with this. I mean, so all of these decks that I've shown so far are decks that you could read pretty much for anything with, I feel like. Really, you would only need one of them. I mean, if you just wanted one RWS, it would be easy to pick your favorite and go with that. And you wouldn't, you wouldn't need all of these. But at the same time, it's nice to have all of them because they appeal to different people different ways. And, I mean, if you only read for yourself and you can't stand the Aquarius Tarot, then don't get it. Like, that's fine. But, I mean, I like variety. It's the spice of life. Another one that I like a lot that is, I think, a very minimal color palette is the Solara Occulto Tarot. So this one is a Canadian deck. You can still get it. Sorry for all the people who I know can't stand borders, because there are obviously kind of chunky borders. This one is lots of browns, earthy tones, oranges, golden colors. So for me, this deck gives me like a confident but happy, like it's not like a really blunt kind of deck for me. Like for me, it's a really comfortable feeling deck. And I think that has to do with the oranges, that those golden colors, they're just comfortable. They don't feel like aggressive at all. They're not like jarring. Like it's all like, I mean, this is like scary AF. I mean, like that's a very creepy little devil, but the name of the deck is the Solara Occulto, I believe is how you pronounce it. I don't have the box because this is the second edition and I have the first edition in my car in my glove box because I like it to read in my car, not while I'm driving. So then I think aside from just the RWS variants and just the different colors and that kind of thing, another thing to consider is who you're reading for. And, you have to pick based off of that. For example, I have the Joe Sparrow Tarot, which is like super fun, totally RWS. I think this deck would be great if you read for kids or people that really liked video games or comic book fans. Nice little diversity there. That could be 2 women. It could be 2 men. That could be anybody. So that's fun. But this is a great deck, I think, for younger people, people who enjoy like, what is that cartoon? If Elle is here, I was just talking to Elle about it. It's Claire. This is the Joe Sparrow Tarot. No, not SpongeBob. It's Steven Universe. That's what it is. This looks exactly like Steven Universe to me. Oh, okay, I could see Powerpuff Girls too. But Steven Universe is what I thought of immediately when I saw it. That's why I wanted it, to be fair. Yeah, it does. I can see kind of Adventure Time too. So this might be fun for, like I said, kids, that kind of thing. Another deck that is good for kids, or even just like, this is really good for anyone, but I think this is a great deck. This is the Playful Heart Tarot. I believe you can still get it. This one is good, I think, for anybody, but this is good for someone who is like not looking for like an overly serious, hard-hitting, and not looking for like an overly serious, kind of like aggressive reading. Like, if you're looking for a slap in the face kind of a thing, this is probably not for you. But it's a very fun, easy, happy little deck. It does read really well for me. It is RWS, but it's like not, it's definitely not a clone. I mean, like, look at this, just like straight up riding a dragon. Like, that's exciting. And these look like little, I don't know what they're meant to be, but those look like little green onions to me. Maybe it's just because I cook all day. So this is another fun one. If you were looking for a romantic or like a love reading, I think that the Star Child is great for that. And it's kind of like a cop-out, honestly, for me to say that, because for me, it feels romantic to me because of the color palette. It's less about the content of the cards and more about the color palette. It's just romantic. This is the Star Child. Thank you, Melissa, for... Oh, okay. Jen, did you just like pass along your dropsies to me when you pass the video along? Damn. Really? I think it's this deck. People always go nuts about the cardstock of this and how much they love it, but like, it's thick. But anyway, for me, it's about the color palette. Lots of purples, which are like, royal, luxury. Who doesn't want a luxurious partner in life, right? So this is good for like, for me, I think it is. Obviously, everything I'm saying is fully subjective. So, you might get the Star Child and think, hell no, why would I do a love reading with that? Another fun thing about the RWS is that there are lots of decks that Star Child. Do I prefer Star Child to Moonchild? Okay, so I really like the Moonchild. I don't have it. I only have the Star Child, and I don't know what made me. I think when I ordered it, the Moonchild was sold out, and so because I'm an addict at this point, I did not want to accept that I wasn't going to have one of these decks, and so I got the Star Child, and I'm glad I did. I think, eventually like to get the Moonchild and see, but I do like the Moonchild, but I have really enjoyed working with the Star Child. So the cool thing about the RWS is that so many people really love the RWS, and it's their system of choice. And I find that lots of deck creators, oh, thank you, Hermit and High Priestess. I can always appreciate another person enabling me, so I'm not the only one doing it. Another thing about the RWS and creators, particularly Kickstarters, and it's really, I see it more in the Kickstarters, but they will base their deck on the RWS, but they kind of take a few liberties and change things up a little. And I think that that's nice because it fully opens you up to a more intuitive experience and approach. But it's also comfortable because you can fall back on the RWS meaning. The Luminous Void, is probably, I think, the one of the best versions of that, or best examples of that. I will say her little white book, of course, I can't get it out of here now. And can you hear the cat at the door meowing? Swear. Anyway, the little white book that came with this, I love for almost every deck. It's just great. It's a really great, her keywords are really great. This is the Shuffle edition. I do have the standard edition, but it's not standard. I mean, it's massive. And I don't know how in the world Ethany, she does this thing where she like separates the deck and then holds it like this and just like, and like it does it. And I don't understand how in the hell she does it, because I can't ever get it to do. So when the Shuffle edition came out, I got it. To be totally honest, I still sometimes have to separate it in half and shuffle them individually, because it's like, I mean, this is like seriously thick. But the Magician is a good example of how you can still get the RWS meanings. He has the wand right here, the cup at the top, the pinnacle right there, and then there's the sword. So you have all the elements there. So I mean, you're missing some of the stuff in Pixie's art. Obviously, there's no, like, the roses and lilies underneath the table are not there. But I mean, for the most part, you can really kind of like go with your imagination with this. And then if you get stuck, you can fall back on what those symbols mean, and you have them. A 10 of wands. I mean, like, admittedly, this is not for everyone. I'll just say that. But I love this deck. Like, there's something about the watercolors, and it's just like, it's just beautiful. And I mean, like, Ace of Wands, that's pretty standard RWS Ace of Wands. You got the little cloud. There's no hand, but I mean, you get it. Oh, Jen, I don't think I could bear to get rid of the big one. I still love it. I just can't use it. So there are decks obviously like this that are, okay, this card in particular, let's have a little joke moment, a little funny, but it's only going to be funny if you watch RuPaul's Drag Race. Elle, you still in the house? Because you'll get it. I think this Empress looks like Raja, the drag queen from RuPaul's Drag Race. So I'll just leave this here for a second, and then when you're done, you can go Google Raja and come on back, and then you'll laugh. So yeah, that's the Luminous Void. Then there are decks like the Sluttist Tarot. Let me just go ahead and give you a little trigger warning. And also, if you're not into nudity of any kind, you might want to just turn away for a minute. Yeah, so this is the Sluttist Tarot. This is the Kickstarter version, but it is X-rated. If you have children, cover them, cover the eyes. But it's a fun deck. Okay, that's very graphic. Okay, I forget sometimes how graphic it is. Sorry, we'll just move quickly. How about that? But anyway, this is another version of, like, this is more RWS. Like, you definitely are gonna have to use your intuition a little more. It's not. Yeah, I know, Simon, because, like, this is a Hermit's Cave event. I know it's on my channel, but I mean, also it totally totally, totally, totally more graphic than I remembered it being. And then there are decks that, like, another one is the Rain Coast Tarot. This is by Christoph James, who I believe is a member of the Hermit's Cave. Oh, sorry, a cross-channel event. But still. Anyway, this is a cool deck because it is pretty close to the RWS. Oh, Butterfly Magic and Hot Tea. I don't know. Now that I think about it, I don't know if there is a man in that deck. L, do you know? If the Sluttish Tarot has any men in it? I don't think I ever noticed. And Billy's Craft Room, thank you. I'm glad that you like it. I painted it. It's not a poster. That sounded like an asshole response, but I don't know how else to say it, except that I painted it. So back to Christoph James's deck, which I really love. Again, it has lots of blues, lots of greens, lots of purples. So it's like a calming deck, even though you wouldn't think of it like that if you just saw the pictures all the time, I don't think, because like they can be like that death card is like, I mean, that's creepy. Even the horse looks like he's mad as hell. Yeah, the colors are really nice. The other thing that I like about this deck is that there are lots and lots of things that you can pull out of it. Lots of tiny little details, like here's the moon card, but like off to the side over here, there's straight up a skeleton in the tree. I don't know if you can see that. I'm not going to try to get it any closer because I don't know if it'll focus, but there's a skeleton right here. Down here in the background, there's a hand. I don't know if it's like reaching for help or like unsure, but like there's that. There's a castle in the back. Right here, I didn't notice it until just now. This looks like a raven or a bird or something, like popping out of that way. The moon has two faces, but if you don't look that closely, it could just be one. So yeah, Sophie, it's a little hand at the bottom, which is fun. Oh, Jonathan. Oh, the Divine Masculine. Got it. Yeah. I am interested in seeing that deck. Like the whole thing. Did I get to Judgment? Did I just like totally... Oh yeah, the Judgment card. Very cool. And like, what a badass little angel. It's like not even... It's little details like that I'm talking about when I say that more decks are just more options. Because even something as simple as that, the little angel looking like a little badass instead of like the happy, fluffy angel that you're used to, that to me is worth having a different deck. Another option that I like a lot is the Spolia, which I believe you can still get it. I'm not totally sure. It's RWS, but also leaves lots of room for interpretation. The color palette is like so good. Like these electric cobalty blues, and then like just the juxtaposition of like, yes, you spelled it right, Melissa. The juxtaposition of like this soft pink and the golds with the cobalt blue and like the orangey lion. It's great. Yes, butterfly magic with hot tea. That is exactly what that's exactly what I meant. Like you said it perfectly. Different artists will bring out different features from the original RWS, and that means new ideas are salient in different decks. Oh, a fun new word too. I'll have to Google that. So the other cool thing about the Spolia, which I don't particularly use them, but they're kind of like a Manchiati style. They have additional cards for all of the zodiac signs. There's a card for every zodiac sign. And then there are, I believe, unless I'm insane. Oh, yeah. They have all the zodiac signs, and then they have the 4 elements. So some decks have additional cards. And, you know, it's hit or miss. I don't always use all of the extra cards that a deck comes with, but it's nice that they're there. And they can sometimes provide something that the deck would not normally have. You know, you may get something out of that deck, out of those extra cards that you wouldn't have gotten if you just used the straight up 78. And then there are decks that are, I believe these are both from Spirit Speak. Yes. Okay, so Spirit Speak makes decks that I adore. They are like, I don't know what it is about them. They're minimal, but they give me everything I need to know about the card. So, like, this is the Spirit Speak, the original Spirit Speak tarot deck, but it's the reverse edition. You can get it still, but it's the opposite of this. So it'll be a white card, and everything that's white will be black. But it gives you everything you need to know about it. But it also gives you like that's clearly a crystal ball. It gives you like clues basically, but you kind of create what you think out of it on your own. And I really like that in a tarot deck. And then the other one that I like a lot by them, it's probably one of my favorite tarot decks ever, is the Apparition tarot deck. So like, here's the 4 of Cups, and I like it because it's just like simple, easy to see. It gives you the meaning, but like without having a like too much. Like there's not a lot of content to focus on, so it's like a quick, easy read for me. Like the Tower, obviously this is a house of cards, that's a match, and then the background is like potentially the aftermath of that. Here's the 10 of Wands. It's just like, I don't know what it is about it. Like the Three of Cups, like you don't have the people, the three women, like toasting like you normally would. And but like you still get that same celebration, celebratory vibe because you've got the three cups filled with like party things. You got like everything you need: candles, flowers, like party snacks, and then like all the confetti and stuff. Um, the Ace of Pentacles. So it's just a fun, easy read for me. And the colors are nice. Again, it really does, truly for me, always it goes back to the colors. And are the colors that I resonate with? I mean, this is very graphic and fun. Thank you very much for that little 15-minute. Thank you, Kelly Bear, and have a great night. Okay. Yeah. I think I covered just about everything I wanted to cover. We have about less than 15 minutes left. Is there anything that anybody in the comments? I mean, I'm sure you all added stuff the entire time. I was just like sitting here. Is there anything that anyone else would like to add? Or do you, are y'all the kind of people, are you the kind of person who is happy with just one? Are you happy with just one deck? Do you feel like you need a ton? Oh, lots of people want to know. Well, if you want to know, we can just talk about it. I can let you see it. It's called the Joe Sparrow, Sparrow. I believe I want to say it's a UK. I have not seen a Waterfall Tarot. I do have decks that I haven't shown for sure. I haven't seen the Waterfall Tarot on Kickstarter. I'm gonna have to check it. The Joe Sparrow is out of print, really? I thought that he just closed. I thought they just closed the shop because of the coronavirus and stuff right now. I didn't know that. I didn't know that it was out of print. Yeah, the website might just be under construction. As far as I know, it's not out of print, really. Jilly Littleton definitely got bitten by the collecting bug. Just saying. Do I have a favorite Oracle deck? I really like the Holly Simple Tarot, and she has an Oracle called geez, now I can't think of it. You know what? I'll just grab them real quick. I have 10 minutes. That's perfect. Be right back. So I have two that I use the most, and it's probably the Illuminated Earth Oracle and the Fuzzy Prism Oracle. Those are the two. I don't think that the moon painting, I mean, it shouldn't be moving. I hope it's not moving. My most prized deck. It's a toss-up between my Dolorance. I really love my Dolorance. And my J.K. Waite tarot. They're probably my most prized. Trying to think. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I covered everything. Again, how many decks do I buy per month on average? Probably 5 to 6, sometimes more, sometimes not quite that many. Yeah, this has been so fun. Oh, you know what? I have 9 minutes left, and I almost totally forgot that I was so excited about doing Tarathon that I thought it would be fun to do a giveaway for the people that are here. So the giveaway is going to be for this tarot bag from Wolfbound Creations. Shane, I believe, is in the chat or was in the chat. Might still be here. He is the creator, and he has an Etsy shop. I'll link the Etsy shop below in case you're interested in seeing it or seeing other ones. So, I mean, the bag is fantastic. Drawstring. It's this beautiful little like teardrop shape. Let me see. I think it will fit. This is the Star Child, and it's like massive. I'm not massive, but it's bigger than a standard tarot. And it fits perfectly. So it's comfortable bag. For just about any deck. I think I probably could fit a crystal in here too. Beautiful fabric. The inside is this. Oh, how stupid. I'm literally like talking about it, flipping it inside out, showing you the insides, and like you can't even see. The inside is this like really nice flannel. So like the deck is super protected. The inside is all finished. So like very safe, secure, fluffy, soft, thick bag. So I guess all you need to do is comment below, and yeah, don't comment in the chat, but just comment below your favorite color. Let's do that. Comment your favorite color, and next week I'll do a drawing for it. I'll do a drawing for it probably on Saturday. Yeah, I'll do it Saturday. And I'll just like schedule the live like I did this. That way everyone can see. But I'll do the drawing next Saturday. So if you want to be entered, just comment your favorite color under this video. And again, I want to thank Simon and everyone else that, yes, Jilly, I'm doing it live. I'm not going to half-ass it and just make you go watch another video. No, it's going to be fun. You get me again live. And yeah, so I'll do it next Saturday. I want to just take a minute to thank Simon because this is the third year that he has organized this and put it on. And I think that it is a fun, meaningful community event that I think lots and lots of people really look forward to. And I really enjoyed being a part of it. And I can't wait to start planning for next year. And yeah, I hope that this was enjoyable for everyone at the very least. And ideally, I hope you got something out of it about color and how that plays into everything. And in just about 5 minutes, not even really 4, we're going to scoot on to Cross Paths and hang out with Lucian for an hour. And yes, Simon has put the link in directly to that. I also have the link in this video, so you can just click that and get to Lucian's channel. Yeah, so cool. Thank y'all for being here, and I guess I'm gonna go ahead and scoot off, and that will give everybody. That's actually perfect. I'm gonna scoot off, and that will give everybody time to use the bathroom, fill up their coffee if you've been doing this for 10 hours so far or more. And then that'll give you time to get to Lucian. So thank y'all very much. And I'll see y'all in 3 minutes.